forgot to turn something off here. Sorry, last minute procedures in regards to last minute video responses. Yay! Anyway, as the title implies, we're talking about a kid named Murray. If you guys aren't familiar with the situation, to get you a little bit familiarized with it tonight. Hopefully I'm coming in a bit louder. Try to mess with the other mic and filters and all that wonderful stuff. So hopefully it's much better for you guys tonight. So to start off, I have the first article up. Someone by the name of Hypocrite has been covering it. Hello, Falcon. So Flying Falcon's in the chat already. Awesomeness. So, for those of you who aren't aware of kind of what's going on in the UK, there's actually two situations that we're going to be looking at as they are quite similar to each other. It's actually really messed up, and I know that there's now a particular theme around my channel, for which I apologize. It's not done on purpose. But anyway, I'm going to flip over to the TV and show you exactly what is going on here. Now, if this wants to behave itself. There we go. So pretty much, a kid got kicked out of his class for kind of counterpointing the teacher, saying that there's two genders because he was teaching about the gender politics and umbrella. You guys don't know how that goes, but anyway, I'm gonna play the video here. Let me unmute the site. Oops, there we go. Okay.
You're entitled to your opinion.
If I am, then why would you kick me out of class? It's not very inclusive of
Could I finish
opinion.
my sentence, please? Not very inclusive. No, I'm sorry. What you were saying was not very inclusive, and this is an inclusive school.
Yeah, how was what I was saying?
Because I was saying that what's wrong with the website is that there are more than one gender in this country.
That's
by law.
your opinion.
That is my opinion, and that is an opinion which is acceptable in the school. I'm afraid yours, which you're saying that there's no such thing as anyone other than male or female, is not inclusive.
Scientifically, there are just two genders.
Okay, so if you guys can understand the video, pretty much, the teacher...
What a fucking nonce.
Yeah, it's craziness. Pretty much, if you guys don't understand what the video is saying, it's pretty much, the student is saying, no, there's biologically two genders, and the teacher's like, well, no, it says on our website that there's more than two genders, this is an inclusive school, and this is the opinion of so many people that there's more than two genders, and it goes back and forth. Go ahead.
What kind of school is it? Because it really does depend. Is it a secondary school, is it a night school, or is it a college?
The kid is in high school, a high school level.
Okay, so secondary school then.
Yeah, he's 17 years old.
Then he would be in college.
Doesn't specify.
You leave when you leave when you're 16, and then you go to college, and then you choose if you want to go to university.
Okay, but yeah. So let me just. It's back and forth. It's actually kind of crazy.
Depending on what
I get it.
gender
But you're choosing to make an issue of this because I said, "Are you really going to hear?"
Sorry about being a no, or just
keep quiet.
Oh, you're fine. It just like I said, the American education system's different, so it didn't specify what level.
Yeah, here it's kind of like secondary school, and then when you go 16, you either get a job or go to college or both, and then you choose if you want to go to university.
Right.
So.
You made the issue with it on the website. You said, "Oh, this website doesn't have more than."
You were clearly given an opportunity not to pursue it. You chose to do so.
Yeah, because I think it's.
You
silly.
chose to do so. Yes, that's the key question. You chose to do so.
I think it's silly to have anything other than two genders. So.
Okay.
Anything else is a
Could you
personal
please
opinion.
keep that opinion to your own house? Thank you.
Okay, so.
God, he's fucking Welsh.
Yeah, no, and just like I said, the gist of the video is it's just like, well, no. There's two genders. It's backed up by science, and you later on in the video hear the student or the teacher go, "The authority says there's more than two genders," and it's just like it doesn't matter what the authority says. It's not scientifically backed. So this kid got in trouble. And something I believe I linked in the description. If not, I will. Go ahead.
If he's in community college, he's not in trouble. He can just walk out of class. It's fine.
Well,
and plus, he's being taught by a Welsh teacher, and the Welsh aren't important.
Well, here's the thing. There's more to the story. And I don't think I put a link in the description for it. A YouTuber by the name of iHypocrite did an interview with Murray. And this kid first got suspended for 3 weeks, or it started off as a week. Then it got extended to 3 weeks, if I remember the interview properly. And then he was just outright banned from attending that school anymore. So he's not allowed to go back and finish his school.
Good, he can go to another. Good, he can go to a better college then. Like,
if they accept
it's not really a massive loss if. No, okay. It's not really a massive loss if you get kicked out of college, because the thing is how it goes. Now you get community college, and you get what Americans call community college, and then you go to university, which is Americans college. In a community college, if you get kicked out, just go to another community college. There's just fucking loads of them. If you go to a community college either in London or Oxford, you're a fucking genius. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He can just go to another community college. He can go to a better community college. He's not missing anything if he gets kicked out by that fucking class.
Well, it kind of depends. I don't know if he's been rejected from other schools because of this. I don't know. This is still fresh. Let's see. The YouTube.
He goes to. If he goes to they actually can't give him any bad, like, it's. So you can get a referral. You can get a referral, like, if you go to, like, for instance, jobs. If you go to jobs and then you get someone referred, like, you get your previous employer, and they tell you how they did at work. Legally, they're not allowed to give you a bad report on that at all. So it's kind of the same with community colleges. They legally can't give you a bad report. They can just say, oh yeah, he got suspended, and this is the reason why. But they can't go too in depth in it. They can't do anything like that. And the thing is, there are certain places in England where they're completely devoid from SJW-ness. So if he's having problems going to community college, he can go in. There are places in England where it's like you can actually go to a community college where it isn't got SJW politics in it.
Okay. Let's see. The article goes on. The YouTuber, again, that's iHypocrite, who first highlighted the boy's story, so the money will go to him to help him with whatever he needs, which may include finishing his diploma at a private institution, tuition for college, or even rent and other basic expenses. The page has raised more than $2,000 of a $10,000 goal since it was set up Monday. Now, and also something too, which we will be touching upon. GoFundMe has shut down this fundraiser, and in the description, there's a link to a whole other fundraiser site. Last time I checked, it was at, like, it was almost near 800 for this new fundraising site, because GoFundMe took the over $2,000 and freaking returned it to everybody. So, yeah, GoFundMe stepped in and went, yeah, no, F you, you're not doing this here.
That's sick. I feel sorry for this kid, but legally he has to be in some sort of education system until he turns 18. So even if they kick him out, legally the government has to put him in some sort of college education. Otherwise, otherwise the school actually gets in trouble. The school can get sued for it. So he has to be in some sort of education. That does suck, but there are stuff like Zero Strings and other fun and other funding sites. And I'm sure if people are dedicated enough, they would. He gets it quickly.
Yeah, no, there's already one set up as it is, and last time I checked it, it was already near an 800, so I don't know where it's at now. Which we could check up on it, but the link to it's in the description. Let's see. In the interview, the boy said the issue first came up in class when they had been asked to sign up for a website. And the teacher pointed out there were only 2 gender options. He basically started to go off on a tangent about how bad that was and how old-fashioned it was, and said, "But sir, there are only two genders," he said. He instantaneously snapped back and said, "Are you really going to go there?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's two genders." And he said, "Murray, if you want to have this discussion, we can have it outside." The teenager
Yeah,
said...
it says
Go ahead.
Yeah, it says the fat Welsh sheep shagger.
Yikes. The teenager said he was waiting outside feeling shocked and angry for 30 minutes before the teacher came out to speak with him, during which he decided to hit record on his phone to capture his explanation. The video shows the teacher telling Maria the opinion that there are only two genders is not acceptable to the school. So how dare you have a different opinion than the one in narrative? How dare you go against big think? Or how dare you have wrong think? He also says to the teenager, "You're entitled to your opinion," to which the boy responds, "If I am, then why did you kick me out of class? It's not very inclusive." I'm really starting to hate the freaking word. The teacher replies, "No, I'm sorry. What you were saying is not very inclusive. Even though it's backed by science and biology, there is only two genders, male and female. And even like when people make the argument for intersex, when you break that down, the person is either one gender or the other with mutations of the opposite sex." So, yeah. The teacher asked, "Could you please keep that opinion to your own house, not in the school?" Again, how dare you go... Oh. Murray said that after the exchange went viral, his mom called to say the school had been in contact and they were not happy. During a meeting with Murray and his mom, he said the school emphasized that I wasn't getting into trouble for what I said, but for recording a teacher, which is fair enough because it is a no-no not to record a teacher, which I'm glad that he did, because let me also add to it, in an interview with I, Hypocrite, the school threatened this Murray not to go to the media. That like you were allowed to come back if you didn't go to the media. But again, his suspension went from 1 week to 3 weeks to getting banned, so he went to the media afterwards. So, yeah, this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the same logic as secondary schools going like, "Oh yes, don't call the police on the bully that's been punching you in the face and robbing you. Come and talk to your teachers and we'll tell them not to do it." It's like, no, fuck you, call the police. Don't tell kids that.
Yeah, and just
Fucking
like
sick.
if this was done to me in the school, I'd be handing this off to like the screechiest, loudest media I could find. It's like, no, this is what's happening in schools. Especially if I had a kid and this was done to my kid. Oh, no. I'd be tagging everybody. So like, come here, because they're doing this, and if they're doing this to my kid, they're doing this to your kid.
It is actually interesting because it's actually breaking a lot of rules. You're not supposed to physically disagree with someone and you're a teacher. You can't discriminate like that at all. It's like you can actually get in trouble with Ofsted, which Ofsted is the people that tend to colleges, schools, universities, night schools, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You actually get in trouble with the fucking heads of education doing that shit.
And here's the thing, I love how it's not it's a rule not to record a teacher, and I think this rule is garbage because, especially what they're doing now, it's hiding the fact of what they're teaching their kids. And there's a similar story, or there's another story similar to this that we're going to touch upon after the Murray thing, because it's garbage. This rule, if I was a parent and
apparently,
go ahead.
Apparently, I'm loud and you're quiet.
Not again. I don't know what to freaking do about that. That is so freaking annoying.
With me,
huh?
Well, if it was me, I would just... One, I would laugh at him for being Welsh, and two, I would make him go on a date with his sheep girlfriend.
Let me see if that's better. Hold on, I'm gonna echo here for just a second. I keep playing with these stupid audio properties and... Hello. Oh, not that one. Get off. Hello. Okay. I should be louder now. If not,
yep, and you're echoing.
Okay.
Yep, you're echoing my end.
Yeah, no, that's because I just turned an option off. It should be off now. Okay, that should...
Okay.
Frickin' hell.
But yeah, I was saying if it was me, I would, one, laugh at him for being Welsh and therefore useless, and two, I would kidnap his girlfriend and would shear her.
Oy. But as I said, as I said in the interview, he said they suspended him for 1 week and told him he would have strict rules on his phone use from that point on. He later said they extended the suspension by another 2 weeks. So as I said, I've sat and watched the interview. It was first 1 week and then it went to 3 weeks. And told him he could return after the summer break. And by the way, let me point out, he was doing schoolwork the entire time during that suspension. They gave him a bunch of work to do and he was doing it. We got called back in... Go ahead.
Yeah, he actually needs to do that schoolwork.
Yeah, and he was doing it. We get called back in for another meeting, and they said after having lots of talks with people higher up, they said it's not okay for me to finish my education at that school effectively, and they told me there's no chance I could return, because the kid pretty much exposed the bullshit that's going on. It's not the recording. No, you guys don't want the recording going on because you want to keep hidden what you're doing to the kids. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, what?
His thing, his from an actual English woman. It's from an actual English woman who went into the secondary school system, right? Before the internet became really big with everyone, not just the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: when the internet wasn't as prevalent as today, when everyone didn't have a phone, like a phone that would directly go to the internet until I was about 16 years old, teachers could get away with a whole lot fucking worse. I swear to God, like the school I went to, I saw like teachers would straight up just slap you, and it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell your parents? Your parents aren't gonna believe you, are they? The thing is that a lot of these kids didn't have phones back then. Like phones were just way too expensive to have. Like middle class kids would usually have phones, not working class or lower class kids. So they would exclude students. They would all this stuff. And so teachers have done a lot worse. And the thing is, they actually tone down their bullshit because they know that they're going to be filmed. So yeah, keep your phones. So if you're a kid and you're in England, keep your phones with you. It makes the teacher behave.
Yeah, and that is it's not. Again, it's not him recording the teacher. That is a minor offense. It's him going against the big thing. Yeah, it's him going against the narrative and him exposing what they're trying to brainwash the kids with.
No, I mean it's not illegal at all. You can film someone without their knowledge. It's not illegal.
Yeah.
Like at all. He hasn't actually done anything legally wrong.
Oh, I know. It's the school looking for a bullshit reason to try to cover the ass of what they really got rid of him for. An admin, Dean Shire, council spokeswoman said Murray was not permanently excluded from the school, but he had reached the end of his time in compulsory education. Bullshit, because you gave him work to do for those 3 weeks he was gone. Students cannot be permanently excluded.
18.
Yeah, excluded when no longer in compulsory education, which ends at the age of 16 in Scotland. The young man in question, this is in Scotland, not UK, but the young man in question has not been, I thought it was UK, so they're saying Scotland, but I could have swore it was UK because of, anyway.
Well, I guess so, but wait, even in Scotland, you still have to be in some sort of education, though.
Mm-hmm. The young man in question has not been permanently excluded from Mearns Academy, but rather at the age of 17 has reached the end of his time in compulsory education, they said. Staff from the school are working hard to ensure that the young man has a positive future placement either in further education or in that area that he chooses. Or in an area that he chooses.
Let me culture education in Scotland.
Yeah, and it's Mearns Academy that they named the school in this article.
Education, Scotland, and primary school and date of birth. Fuck. Just a lot of bullshit happening here. School in Scotland. So it says 16 But yeah, but the thing is that that's when you leave secondary school. It's not exactly like all of education. You have to either go. Yeah, you either have to go to college or. So there was no point to it. You still have to go to college or work. It's a little less strict than in England. Be in education till he's 18, basically.
Well, let's see. Staff from the school working hard to ensure the young man has a positive future. I already read that. It is understood that he was suspended for quitting his teacher, which is total bullshit. Bullshit. Rather than the initial conversation. Again, bullshit. Murray said he's not sure what he will do now because if he applies for a new school, he is worried they will first speak to his old school for a reference. This won't just affect me in this school, this could affect me in getting into another school as well, he said. I'm in limbo. I'm either... Go ahead.
They legally can't give you a bad reference. If they try and give you a bad reference, they would lose their jobs, and probably the school can actually be liable for being sued. They legally can't give you a bad reference. So if they do, you have a case.
If someone is willing to push that envelope, but considering what's happened with a lot of schools all over the world and colleges, a lot of people just don't give a damn for policy anymore, and they're going to push what they want to push. So, and that's the scary thing, too. I'm in limbo. I'm either going to have to find a new school or go to college, but it's definitely a speed bump in my life at the moment. So let me grab real quick that link, because like I said, GoFundMe. No, I did not put the interview in the description. Seriously. I'll do that later.
Seriously, attend college. Attend a community college. It doesn't have to be a good one. In either Cambridge, Oxford, or London, and you go outside of those places. People think you're a genius because you went to a college that happened to be in one of those famous places.
Yeah.
And they legally can't give you a bad reference either. So if they do, you have a suing case. And also, if you go to community college, if you're really worried, then there are places in England where SJW crap hasn't actually affected education lately.
Yeah.
You know, there are places to go. It's just unfortunately probably going to have to make a trip. If it's in Scotland, I don't know a lot about Scotland, but if you come down to England, there are some places where they will just accept you.
Yeah. And just what's sad, those places are becoming fewer and fewer, far between. So, like I said, would you get out of here? Anyway, so like I said, this is a new fundraising site. Link is in the description. It was on GoFundMe, and it was $2,000 over, but GoFundMe pretty much told them, F you, you're not doing this here for whatever reason. Let me actually pull up the tweet here, because I hate...
So he's Scottish, not Welsh?
I think the student is Scottish. I don't know what the teacher is specifically. But yeah, here's the reason that they gave irate or I hypocrite. Let me see if I can make this a bit bigger, because this is a bit small. Okay, so yay, that's actually better. I hope that's better for everybody. Trying to make sure. Nope. Okay, so, dear GoFundMe customer, we are writing to inform you that your GoFundMe account has been removed due to a violation of our terms and conditions. The content of your campaign falls under our conditions of use section. You may view this in our terms and conditions by following this link. Unfortunately, our terms and conditions, along with strictly enforced policies from the payments industry, prohibit GoFundMe from allowing you to continue raising money on our site. Any donations made to your campaign that have not already been withdrawn and have been refunded will be returned to your donors within 3 to 7 business days. Regards, Nick. So, for whatever freaking reason, this went against their campaign when I don't know why I keep saying that other name. I Hypocrite was raising it from Murray. Anybody who is running GoFundMe, you send an invite to the other person that you're raising for to be a beneficiary. So, Hypocrite wasn't getting any of the money, but I don't know. They did not give him a valid reason as to why they pulled it down, so he had to go. Here, it's back up. It's nearing 1,600. It's literally like $1 shy. But yeah, so this is happening more and more, and I've talked about this on my channel, and you guys know where my stance is with all that stuff is by now. I don't need to keep repeating myself. But we're seeing this in the US, we're seeing this in the UK, which we're going to look at another situation, mind you, to where they are forcing LGBT curriculum, the gender politics, on children. They don't care anymore. We touched upon an article in one of my videos that I uploaded that talks about how there was a survey done talking about how the youth in the US, the younger generations, were becoming more and more intolerant of the LGBT stuff, and the one narrative was, oh, well, they're more tolerant, accepting, open-minded, but when you constantly shove this stuff in their face, in anybody's face, they're going to push back. So if you guys want to donate, again, the link is in the description for Murray. This situation is still fresh. As I said, there's another situation that is in the UK that happened within a similar time span. And it has to do with a 11 to 10-year-old girl. This does come from a Christian website. I could pull up a different news article if people...
probably different news article.
But there is a YouTube video, so... yeah. Life News, Truly Times, Wrestling Forum, Lipstick, Kaylee.com, Trendalizer. None of the mainstream media is covering it. Think Americana.
You probably want to use an article instead, like a article instead of a Christian article, because people are going to be dicks, and they're going to immediately tune out if you just use a Christian one. And you want people to listen to you. So
no, and I get that. They're just, the mainstream media is not covering this, and they won't touch this. So let me see some of these other websites I've never heard of. There's trulytimes.com. I have no idea if that's like a neutral or whatnot. Let's see. It doesn't look to be Christian related. It just seems to be... Okay, so there is a YouTube video to which we are going to click on, and there's something like profound the little girl says. Let me click over to the TV here. Okay, so 10-year-old suspended for asking to be exempted from LGBT school lesson. This is in the UK. London, July 1st, 2019. A 10 to 12 month, age 2 was suspended from university for 7 days immediately asking her instructor authorization to be excused from collaborating in a Pride Month LGBT lesson has absent on the background to make clear the real hazards of the invasion of LGBT ideology in her college or school. Before any individual realized what LGBT intended, most people realized what gender they have been. And she's 10 to 12, and she's saying this. She's like, nobody was confused until LGBT came in and go, oh, well, here's this, here's that. So, go ahead.
I just want to remind everyone of when when Washington tried to have lessons on transgenderism to nursery children, and then kids, like a little boy, was trying to pull off his penis because he was told that men are pretty bad and transgenderism is good, and they if you bring that up to an SJW, they would immediately go like, oh, well, that's just fake news, which then you could laugh at them at.
Well, it's not fake news because #SaveJames. You have a mom trying to turn her little boy into a girl and trying to make the father pay for transitional therapy, and hormone replacement, and possibly surgery by the age of 7 to 8, if this case falls through.
They're being protected under mermaids. Mermaids is a very they say they offer therapy for transgender children, right? And that's all they do. They have therapy. Except for the fact that they've been caught many times sending children to other countries so they can get hormone blockers. So when they return to England, which hormone blockers are illegal in England.
Yeah.
Come back and they're on hormone blockers.
Yeah,
we got no choice anymore.
Yeah, no,
so they're being protected under the company Mermaids, and that's why they haven't had a lot of shit going their way, because Mermaids is a very corrupt organization that will pay off anybody just so they won't, like, they would literally blackmail people to not have their company slanted against.
I'm telling you, there is a war on our children, and I've said this many times, especially on our young boys. What?
Sorry.
Oh. And this is with that they are doing it. Let's see, who alongside with her classmate Farah was suspended from the Havens Farmer Primary University located in Croydon, South London. Hopefully I pronounced that. Is it Croydon? I think it's Croydon.
Croydon.
Okay. But now people today are bewildered. Continued the precocious 10 to 12-year-old girl. I don't know why 10 calendar 12 months age. I swear I don't understand that phrasing. They're expressing that they're bisexual and trans simply because they're puzzled. Which exactly, again, I have said this multiple times. Is because the older generations have pretty much given the finger to the LGBT, especially the radicals of it. They are now going for the children. Washington State, you have the gender unicorn that was implemented back in 2014 and 2015. So they are now going after our children. Huh? This is a legit thing. You're introducing a cartoon character which says, go ahead.
I'm sure it's a legit thing. I'm just thinking gender unicorn.
It's what Lindsay and Queer Kid stuff does. It's the same bullshit. It's the same, there's multiple genders, there's kids can be trans, and then you have the implication of luring little boys to the drag queen culture. This is not something that's happening at coincidence. This is this is actually scary, and I really don't want fucking kids because of it. Just no. Let me continue on. Let's see, where did I leave off? Before this occurred, they were wholly sure of who they were, but now they are not. Again, they're confusing the children, and this is done on purpose. This is not to make them more tolerant or accepting. You can teach a child how to love other people that are different from them without indoctrinating or brainwashing them and confuse the shit out of them. Again, it falls back to just, and I pointed this out in a video of mine, where if you guys noticed, like 2 to 3 years ago, possibly 4, where you have feminism swallowed up the LGBT, and you had them swallowed up BLM, and then you had them swallowed up the moderate Islam, or moderate Muslims, and all of a sudden now you have intersectional feminism, you have Islam being pushed as a feminist ideology. I'm not kidding, look this crap up. And the intersectional feminism with the BLM, that you have the progressive stack and all that stupid shit. And then when it comes to the trans stuff, to where you have, from feminism, that's why you have the terse, and then you have normal feminism. So a branch broke off going like, yeah, we don't freaking think so. So, again, it's a push to blur the line between the genders and to emasculate men. That's why you see a big trend right now in drag kids, and it's boys. It's not girls, it's boys. So, man, I know I sound like Alex Jones, but I swear to God. Go ahead.
Conspiracy theories became true. It's beautiful.
It's scary because people have been screaming about this, and now, just like I said, I know this is becoming a particular theme around my channel, and I don't want it to be, but I'll give you a perfect example. There's an article written by Desmond the Amazing by a convicted pedophile saying, oh, well, it's sensational to have, and well, I don't want to repeat it because I'm going to throw up, but pretty much he liked the idea of Desmond dancing around and stripping, and you have the mom, Nipoles, that's, I believe, how you pronounce her last name, coming out and going, well, Desmond isn't sexualized, how dare they write these articles, blah, blah, blah. It's like, lady, what do you think you were doing to your kid who was caught stripping 3 a.m. at a gay bar?
Well, have you seen the article where the mother was shocked to find out that Desmond Amazing's Instagram is littered with pedophiles?
Oh yeah, pedobait?
Yeah.
You were sexualizing your own son, but you're going to demonize other people doing it? Like, I've had people come at me before saying, oh, well, drag culture isn't sexualized. Yes, it is. Ichabod could testify. I had other people on Twitter going, yeah, no, it comes from the history of burlesque dancers.
Let me put it this way where people can understand.
You know more about it than I do.
So, apparently you future people keep going on about the fact that you don't add that you have child labor laws, which I think is sickening, and that children are legally not allowed to work. So why is Desmond Amazing going to clubs, earning money, working all the time, not going to school, making money for his parents quit his job to financial off him?
I did not know that. Holy shit.
Working all the money. If you think about it, they're breaking child labor laws.
Well, New York apparently doesn't give a damn because CPS wasn't,
Actually, technically child stars should be illegal too because that is technically child labor.
In a sense, you're not wrong. I mean, there's... Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even know his parents quit their jobs.
Oh yeah, his mother quit her job and she's now just living off her son's money. At least in England, we actually had a law passed where it's like if we get child actors, they can't get their money until they're 16 years of age. They get a bank account, by the way. So the parents can't get it, and really, it's just they're not allowed to have it till they're 16 years of age. And the thing is that Desmond Amazing's mum, she's getting money every time he does a gig. She doesn't work. The kid is just working for the money himself. He's basically the provider for their house, water, food, fucking taxes.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that's technically child labor. So if you're for child drag queens, remember this: Desmond Amazing, he may be a drag queen, child labor. That's something you should be thinking about, huh?
Well, yeah, and then like drag queens, from what I read, they are over dramatization of the female form, which you're pretty much having a 6 to 7, 8-year-old boy. Is he 10? Dressing to look like a full-grown woman, or dramatization of that, and you're having him like taking off his clothes. Okay, you can still strip tease and have something underneath. Strip teasing is when you're dancing and you're removing articles of clothing. You are having your child do that for various groups of people, and you want to go after pedos for sexualizing your child when you fucking do it yourself. Oh, yeah. I swear.
I mean, look at Arcata tomorrow. Tomorrow Arcata is going to be doing a tassel dance because
that is one hell of a introduction.
Yeah, he made a bet saying like, if I get $500, then I'll do a nipple tassel dance on my stream, and someone gave him $500. And he's not going to show everything. He's just going to, like, take off his shirt and just twirl for us.
But it's still sexualized, though. And when you have a little kid doing that, especially a little boy, and you have more people encouraging drag queens, like, okay, every drag queen that has come out has had a picture with a naked guy, like Letitia, Queen Lactatia had one where the guy had a full makeup wig, but had like a shopping bag in front of his junk. And then you have another one, which I don't even know the name of, where he had a unicorn horn, full on makeup, and he had glitter on his dick. This is. Oh, you laugh, but this is a growing trend. This is. And I know, and I may sound like I'm going to contradict myself because I know we covered the situation with Mr. Atheist and Anderson's ilk and brought up it was NAMBLA and Heart Progress that are trying to normalize pedophilia and attach it to LGBT. Here's the scary thing, is you have factions of the LGBT also embracing the same thing as NAMBLA and Heart Progress. Pretty soon, and this is what I'm predicting because this is the route that it's going, go ahead.
Heart Progress is now MAP.
MAP, whatever it is, no MAP. Yeah, I've seen the freaking Twitter shit. They're also including bestiality or zoophile and
that's still funny.
But like I was saying, you're gonna have the main head of the LGBT embraces, and you're gonna have factions break off and flee. Just like what TERFs did with feminism. And when it comes to trans people, they're like, yeah, no, we're out of here. Do not come in this box. So, I mean, it's going to happen. You already have them embracing the drag culture for kids, which is a no-no. You have the trans kids. Again, from what I've seen, it is mainly targeting little boys. You hear of, like, the last case I heard was of a 17-year-old girl being taken away from her parents in, I believe, Iowa, and given to her grandparents and started like hormone therapy, and the parents were blocked from doing anything by the courts. So, but I mainly hear about it of boys. I sound like a broken record at this point, but this is so important to pay attention to what's going on. And again, I'm not saying all LGBT people are like this, but this is the road where it's headed. People screamed about this crap for years, and I think I don't know if Alex Jones said something. I know that he made like the joke, they're turning the freaking frogs gay. But yeah, no, that's a meme now. But the conspiracy theories that people like made fun of, they're real. Those are real, and it's freaking terrifying. Anyway, let's finish this freaking article. Because now I'm gonna come across. Oh, she's homophobic. No, you're retarded. Go ahead.
Yeah, I made those conspiracy theories, and you people just ate it up.
Where did I leave off of? Let's see. Before all this happened, people realized who they had been. Reported Casey, school children are now struggling with the preference of what gender they are by the age of 4, which again, children have no idea what sex is, sexuality, much less what certain body parts are for. Because I remember talking, and again, this is not shitting on Mocha. For those of you who, I have a clip on here, it's of Citrus Questions, which is hosted on my co-host channel, or my other co-host, Ichabod. Toward me and Mocha were talking about a situation if you walked into the bathroom and found your son or nephew or whatever doing full-blown makeup, like a professional artist, mind you, and what your reaction would be. Well, in that stream, that discussion, we had brought up, well, what would you do? Here's how you handle if your child walked up to you, said that they were trans, or if they were a boy and they said that they were a girl or whatever. And you say, and this is her view. Is that, oh, well, you say that's nice, honey, and that's how you handle it because it's progressive. Fuck that shit, no. Like, and I expressed in that stream, and I'm going to repeat it here again, this is not a shit on Mocha. Mocha seems to be very sweet, she was very much rational when it came to the discussion on Twitter.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But what I had said is if you have a child coming up to you, out of the blue, and it's not something you have even introduced them to or discussed with them or exposed them to, and you have a child suddenly repeating terms to you like that, trans, or I think I'm the opposite sex, or I think I'm this, you need to figure out where the fuck your child is hearing this shit, whether it be TV, their school, their friends. It's not something you just said like, oh, that's nice, honey. No, because there is an agenda to indoctrinate children. And again, I know that sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I don't know how many freaking articles I've tweeted over the past month showing what the hell has been going on. This is not conspiracy theory anymore. This is happening, and it's terrifying. Instructor claimed to university authorities Susan Pappas, the head of Heaven's Farmer Major Facility, Craydon, South London, who banned the young children from the facility for 5 days for alleged anti-LGBT responses, has been reported to the community authorities for what quantities to an unlawful act. You mean qualifies? Christian Worry, an advocacy group seeking for to restore the United Kingdom to the Christian religion, which recounts the incident that led to the two students' suspension on June 20th. Farrell, sitting subsequent to his great good friend Casey in class, questioned his 12 months 5 class instructor. Sir, please, may well I not consider part of this lesson when the instructor handed out LGBT materials for coloring. The trainer refused authorization, declaring that the LGBT lesson was component of the curriculum. Proper immediately after program, the type instructor is claimed to have accused Farrell of using homophobic language for allegedly stating LGBT sucks and LGBT is dumb, which the youngster denies. It's also claimed that supposedly Casey, specifically, the 10 to 12-year-old little girl, said that LGBT should die. This was a claim that the teacher made, which, if the students don't know what the hell LGBT is, why the fuck would they try to be wishing death? It makes no sense. It just... Kids are anti...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
They're making it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the article's making it up. The kids are generally more... They're a lot more smarter than that. And don't worry what Mocha says. Mocha's just an idiot. So anyway, with kids, they're a lot smarter than people think they are, and if you actually talk to them in LGBT, now if they don't like the word LGBT, they would just be like, I don't like it. So,
yeah.
And if you try and force them into it, they're going to be a bit more aggressive. That's what kids do. But but the thing is, if you're going to try and force them into it, they're just going to keep saying, I don't want to do it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, they wouldn't be like, LGBT die. They wouldn't be like that.
Yeah, no, they didn't even understand what it was until it was explained to them, and they're like, well, no, this isn't right. And especially Casey comes from a Christian household. Her family is Christian. So that's another red flag, because it's also denying freedom of religion, but I don't know how the religious laws over there in the UK work. I don't know if it's the same thing as it is in the US.
It's about fucking 40% Catholic here. Yeah. It's about 40% Catholic, I think about 30% Christian. 50% of it's atheist, definitely. Atheist is most of it. And then there's, I don't know, there's Hindu and then Sikh and then Muslim.
Well, like, what are the laws for when a student feels like something is against their religion? Like, are they legally protected?
Well, if something's being taught that's against a religion, what normally happens is they would either be put in another classroom while they teach that lesson to the other children, or if they have really extreme parents, then they would just be they would just not go to school that day.
Makes sense. That's kind of what happens
teach
here.
Kids about if you're trying to teach kids about sex and gender, you're supposed. So if the parents didn't sign up for it like that, they have to have a permission. They have to sign permission. Like, the schools need signed permission from the parents. So it's like, if they don't have signed permission, then the children would be put in another lesson where they'd be taught something else. Or if the parents are really extreme, they don't let their kids go to school that day.
Yeah, that's kind of like how it is over here. Let me touch base with the chat because I haven't during this whole time. Andrew says, I plan to be busy, may start my Final Fantasy playthrough. Oh, I'm sorry, Andrew, you lost your puppers. I'm sorry. I lost my kitty about a few years ago. Sorry, man. They're even, thanks, cool. I'm here now, you can start the party. I highly suspect I just made the crumpet cruncher laugh. What the hell? Let's see. Oh, stripping in a gay bar at 3 a.m. is actually the entrance level child abuse. Yeah, it is, because you're exploiting and sexualizing your child at that point. And you're brainwashing the kid to think it's okay, which these parents have horrifically done. Let's see. Yep, parents quit to manage their child. Manage is what they call it. Let the rage flow. And yet there's no love for choreophiles. I have no idea what the hell that even is. Have you even heard of it? Chorophiles? CHOROFHILES? I don't even know what the hell that is. What is that?
Chorophiles.
I don't know.
Is that... You're probably saying... Hang on.
Hold on.
Again?
Oh, it's CHOROFHILES. I have... Oh, aroused by dancing. Okay. Okay. So I'm going like, what the freak?
That's not even a fucking word. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Let's see. When the conspiracy theories start becoming reality, you need to worry. That's like when people give off warning flags or give off warning signs, hey, this is where this is going, writings on the walls, and they get called conspiracy theorists, and it later finds out that what they're saying is true. Yeah, you really need to start paying attention and possibly go back to their crazy ramblings, what they're saying. Let's see. Since tonight is depressing night, yesterday I found out my dad's needs 2 knee replacements. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a grandfather that went through those. He's trying to wait. He's already had 3 surgeries. Yikes. Someone says you need people to step away from the time machine. All this timeline changing is giving me vertigo. Yeah, it's a crazy timeline to be in. Let's finish this. Pharaoh, who is sitting down with female people, Casey claims he is a Christian and recommended a visitor teacher. He did not accept LGBT because of his religion, which, again, let me point out here, just because I am from a Christian background, I'm traditional marriage myself, just because we do not accept the ideology of LGBT or agree with them does not mean we are homophobic or hate them. So it's freedom of religion is a thing. The instructor asked the 2 young children, do you want them to die? What the fuck? Why? Okay. See, this is garbo. The instructor asked the 2 young children, do you want them to die? Which is probably referencing Leviticus or the Old Covenant, into which how a lot of those people were dealt with. Because the culture time, again, Old Covenant, it's not a thing that is in practice anymore because the New Covenant. This is manipulating the children, and I freaking dissent you. We said no. Huh? Go ahead.
The meme, and I almost quote it.
Oh, you're fine. Pharaoh replied, if, however, they went back to their nations, they would be punished for staying gay. Pharaoh instructed the instructor. So, here's the thing. This is the child educating. Just made a comment because they were asked, do you want them to die? But no, if they go back to their homelands, because the UK, London is part of the European Union, open borders and all that wonderful shiz, so there's a lot of people that have moved in there. A lot of Nigerian and African descent, and Africa does do the Old Covenant to where they will stone you. It's not a good thing, it's a very ugly, nasty thing, and yeah. But so, go ahead.
Always having a go at I love always having a go at a Christian little girl when whoever looked at the statistics of how many students can't go in a sex talk about gender or sex at all. There is an alarming amount of Muslim students. Why isn't he having to go with all those Muslim students that aren't participating in in the LGBT?
Because it's not PC. Anybody who touches the actual ideology and teachings of Islam gets called that they're Islamophobic, or that they're being xenophobic. It's bullshit.
Oh no, I'm so scared. I hope this will never happen to me in the future. I wonder what will happen if it happened to me. Oh wait, it already has.
Well, and by the way, something too is there was I think, what was it? I read that they did like a survey in UK. The Muslims among the UK in the UK is like a particular area, and I need to find it. To where they asked how they felt about the LGBT, and a lot of the Muslims over there in the UK said that they felt that people with LGBT need to be stoned to death. This is a traditional teaching is in Islam in context that they very much apply to today. That's why when you go over to Islamic countries or Islamic ruled countries, you literally have people who are of the LGBT thrown off the roof. Like, that legit happens.
Depending on which part of the United Arabs you go to, different parts have different death penalties. But then there's some parts where you just either get jailed for life or you get deported.
Yeah, either way, LGBT people are not welcomed in the actual ruled Islamic countries.
Of course not.
Because, like I said, because I just broken record, if you actually look at the Quran, what they teach, they believe that to be an abomination, and they actually kill those people or they get rid of them. Go ahead.
Well, let me put it this way. They believe it was an abomination because they think that demons have basically killed... So they think that demons have basically gone into you, and the only way to save your soul is to kill you. Yeah. So a lot of Muslims who are doing this think they're doing a mercy killing because that means you can get into heaven doing it.
According to their ideology, yeah. Which...
Yeah, it's still fucked, but I do have to point out it's not all maliciousness to 10. Some of it is because they think it's a mercy killing. It's still fucked. It's just there's a lot of stuff going around, and people starting to get confused with the religion.
Well, yeah, no, and I'm glad that you specified it, because people try to equate, was it Islam to Christianity? It's like, no, compare the two books, my friends. You'll find completely different messages. Huh?
No, in Christianity, they just straight up fucking murdered gay people and went like, it's what God would have wanted. It, like, at least with Muslims, it was like, oh, we're trying to save your soul. With Christians, it was like, fuck you, you're a God's abomination. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was in the Old Covenant when sin was dealt with severely, and there's a lot of scary shit that happened in the Old Testament. But again, context order, New Covenant, we don't do that anymore. Grace, mercy, repentance, all that wonderful shiz in the New Covenant, which is relevant to today. So, but again, it just...
You don't do that. You don't do that today in Western civilization.
Nope, because a lot of Christian pastors will go, no, we're under the New Covenant. Old Covenant went away when Christ came back and died, and rose from the dead.
Yeah.
So,
you don't do that in Western civilization. That's the important part. They still actually do it in the East.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, definitely. They are very much Old Covenant. Yeah, they go full on. Ow.
Oh, the East are fucking crazy. But anyway.
Let's see. The instructor questioned Farrell in which why he was from. Farrell mentioned he was of African, Jamaican heritage, and primarily for the reason that everybody's Christian and Catholic, so they really don't accept LGBT, which, by the way, in Africa, they kill those people off and stone them to death. Again, they practice the Old Covenant. Huh?
True about gay people in Africa, and if you get accused of even being friends with a gay person, people just straight up kill you.
Afterwards, Mrs. Pappas shouted at the two little ones in entrance of the program, in accordance to Casey, how dare you, your disappointment to the college. So again, going against the wrong thing. We know that this is wrong, this goes against our beliefs. We don't respectfully want part of this. Can we be excused or go to a different, or have like a visitor teacher? Pappas explained to the two modest young children outdoors the classroom. Pappas then placed the very little ones in varied rooms and asked Casey, how dare you say that you want to destroy LGBT persons, which they never said that. Casey replied, I didn't say kill. Pappas then shouted at her and explained, yes you did, and really don't lie. No, made a reference as to where they came from, that LGBT people would be killed. Not saying that they advocated for what their country did. But again, you have, and this is going to happen too. Children who go against the freaking think tank, they are going to be demonized and not allowed to progress further. Anybody who does not accept the narrative, they're going to be demonized, ostracized. We've already seen this with the media, with certain media outlets. They're doing this now to children. Casey,
bring back child
huh? Oh no, you don't want. You don't want child labor here in America. There's a reason why we outlawed that shit.
Excuse me, but my Steampunk England is free from SJWs.
Was an SJW, so there.
I think I know best.
Casey, a Pentecostal Christian, states she was stored in detention for five hours, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Casey's and Farrell's variation of the tale, which differs enormously... Wait, what? Casey's and Farrell's variation of the tale, which differs enormously from what their instructor, and the head of their faculty allege, has been corroborated by their classmates. So, make sure I read that right, which offers enough... Okay, so pretty much the classmates are agreeing with Farrell and Casey's side of the story. Go, no, this is what the teacher did, this is what the students... our peers said. Let's see, heavy-handed. Go ahead.
I think because the kids are growing up and they're being discriminated against, I think it's going to be a counterculture very soon of when these kids become when these kids basically become teenagers. There's going to be a counterculture where it's like, again, like free speech and all this stuff. They're gonna push back because, like, it's very easy to abuse kids now. But the thing is when and
you kind of cut off there. When what?
When you abuse kids, the people always forget one really important thing. They grow up.
Mm-hmm.
They get revenge. Hard.
Well, it's not just revenge. You have kids, and there's an old saying, and there's even a book, The New Emperor's Clothes, Out of the Mouths of Babes Comes the Truth. There are kids who know what's being taught is wrong. They're like, this does not jive with me. People weren't confused before this stuff crept in.
I think they're not supposed to learn, and they're not supposed to learn about sex and gender until they're 13, 14 years of age anyway. So were they fucking being taught this at, what was it, 7 years old?
Yeah. It's indoctrination, and as I've said before, because you can allow the older generations, like I think it includes our generation as well, the 90s kids who are now turning like in their 30s or creeping near their 30s, even our generation kind of gave the finger going, no, and a lot of us do have, I'm not saying you do, but a lot of us, like especially me, have Christian backgrounds. I'm not indoctrinated, I wasn't ingrained, I wasn't brainwashed, I've actually stepped away from the Bible multiple times, and right now I'm avoiding the church like the plague because, no. But we've had our own experiences, revelation, things like that, to go, you know what? There's a reason why marriage is a particular way in the Christian Bible. There's a reason why certain things are not allowed. And it's even gotten to the point, let me note this, because I said this in response to Hey Dude on Twitter, and this goes back to the situation between Mr. Atheist and Pastor Steven Anderson and his ilk. Both sides of that situation are arrogant as fuck, and they're on different extremes. Now with Mr. Atheist, because I've watched, and again, I'm not advocating for Anderson. Run from those people. But like I've watched Mr. Atheist response videos, and one of the things, because they've gone out of their way to change this, with the King James Bible, there's a reason why it has that name, and it's simply because that is the first king to get the Bible translated to English for everybody to read. That is why it's called the King James Bible. Now, when looking up why that particular Bible had the King James name to it, I discovered something else. They're going out of their way to even try to change religion, things like that. There is something called the Queen James Bible, where they pretty much took out any verse that went against same-sex marriage or homosexuality that they deemed non-exclusive to the LGBT. So they pretty much went through and gutted the entire damn Bible, because if you read the New Testament, things like that, there's a very, very specified way God wants marriage, and uses that analogy. And again, I'm not trying to get preachy or religious, but use it as an analogy for his relationship with his children. So they're going through and they're sneaking changes through religion, education. It's an indoctrination thing, and they're going through any means possible, any way possible. So it's only going to get worse. This is not a trend that's going to go away. They're going to keep pushing, as in we've seen pedophile. Go ahead.
It's not going to go away, but if we learn anything from history, if you abuse children in a way, if you push a certain narrative onto a bunch of children, they're going to grow up and they're going to push back hard. Mm-hmm. Why do you think the 90s was really pro-punk and pro-communist and anarcho-communist, was very anti-establishment? It was because in the 80s, it was a very conservative period. They tried to push laws that were absolutely against human rights. They straight up tried to put the Indecent Home Act, which was arresting anyone who didn't do straight vanilla sex.
Yeah, that was way too far. So now we had that extreme, and now we have this whole other extreme, which, by the way, is only going to get worse, because now we have zoophiles, as they like to call themselves, which is bestiality, and then we have nomaps, or pedophiles attached themselves to LGBT. It will happen. You're going to have the main head accept this, and factions break off and flee. I'm not kidding.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that,
go ahead.
Those kids were constantly getting pushed, like, really, really extreme conservative ideas, and they pushed back in the 90s when everything became pro-communist, anarcho-communist, punk, socialist, ideas. Yeah. And the thing is that they've gone too far with that. So when these kids get to be teenagers, they're going to push back, and it's a thing that's happened all out through history. Mm-hmm.
There's good
work.
Oh yeah, there's always a strong pushback. And depending on how strong that generation is, and depending whether or not the parents are involved, because at this point, I think I brought it up because before the stream, I released a video, and it's been responding to extra credits, and they're freaking garbage of a video. How dare you have video game characters with freaking Nazi uniform? How dare you humanize Nazis? Freaking hell. Anyway, I believe I mentioned that video because I had 3 takes of that video response. To where I mentioned that they have slowly but surely been sneaking in ideals of socialism and even communism at one point, because if you look at communism, some of the ideals, they want to destroy the nuclear family. To abolish capitalism, you destroy the family because they believe the family is one of the key components and it's oppressive to the children. They want the government. So both communism and socialism want the government to raise the kids. That's teaching them what the government feels the kids should be taught. What else? There is no special individual, like, at all. And as you've seen with the LGBT, everybody has so many fucking pronouns. Everybody has so many different orientations. I am gender fluid, bisexual, aromatic, whatever the fuck. So in that sense, like if you guys remember the Mr. Incredibles, if you remember the line from the villain is like, I'm gonna sell my inventions to make sure everyone is special, so in the end nobody is special. Pretty much with the LGBT is doing the same thing. Everybody is so special, everybody has so many pronouns to where you take away the individual. Blur the line between the genders. So again, look this stuff up. I actually had somewhat of a read of socialism and communism thanks to, I believe it's Just a Robot's video in response to No Bullshit. Huh? Oh, you don't like Just a Robot?
No, I like Just a Robot. The thing is my question is, did you read the Communist Manifesto?
No, I haven't. I've read parts of it because like there's articles that link parts of it, and what Marxist says is freaking scary as shit.
Well, I think what's interesting to note is you need to get the Communist Manifesto before 2005. Copies before 2005.
Why?
In 2005, they edited the Communist Manifesto so where it sounds less oppressive. So they took out the bits where it was like forced pregnancy and abortion. Forced and also took out the bits where they tried to. Karl Marx was basically talking about how black people should be slaves. Tried to edit it to make it more thing, but this was in 2005, so there's still some abhorrent shit like homosexuals would be straight up slaves or killed.
I actually read an article. And I think, I can't remember if it was on socialism or communism, that said that supposedly the LGBT were like, that there's like historical figures of the socialist movement in like Europe or whatnot that were gay. That in socialism, I guess LGBT would thrive because the nuclear family be done away with, individuality be done away with, the government be raising the children. So supposedly the LGBT are supposed to be thriving in a socialist, if not communism or communist economy, but in a capitalist one, they are seen as oppressed. How accurate is that?
No. They edited the Communist Manifesto, so it's like, it would sound less oppressive, but it still had like homosexuality and all that stuff in it, and it never really got edited again.
Oof. So
Communist Manifesto is still heavily anti-gay.
Which does make sense if we go back Nazi Germany. What was it? Hitler was a socialist, by the way, that turned communist. Something I also brought up, and I know we're going off on a tangent, but go ahead.
Oh. Now, Hitler was a weird mix of
both
everything. I don't know how you explain it, but he was a weird mix of everything. He was a weird mix of everything. It wasn't just one ideology or the other.
Yeah,
he was a mix of. I think he's a mix of 5 different ideologies.
People try to claim that he was Christian. Now, if you also look at the teachings of communism, they do away with religion. And I'll give you a perfect example of like something that's relevant today. If you look up President Xi Jinping and churches, what is going on in China right now is President Xi Jinping has gone into Christian churches and pretty much threatened the pastors to quit telling people that Jesus is going to save them. You tell them that Xi Jinping is going to save them, and you hang up my portrait on your church walls. I'm not freaking kidding. This is something that's happening in China right now. It has always been known that the Bible is pretty much illegal over there, or has been, and it's dangerous to teach Christianity over in China because it conflicts with communism and it conflicts with the rule.
Of course, it's fucking China.
So, but that is a perfect example, and communism does away with religion. So people try to like quote Hitler saying, "Oh well, he was a Christian." Fuck no, he wasn't. No, because like
he was a Christianic cultist. He wasn't exactly a Christian. There is a difference.
I don't know what a Christianic cultist. Go ahead.
Christianic cultists are more in a way of they do believe in God, they do believe in Jesus, but Christianic cultists tend to believe that they have a connection with them, and on top of that, they think that they're second coming of Jesus, while a Christian just believes in God and Jesus. So Hitler believed he was the second coming of Jesus, not exactly, So he was technically a Christian, but technically not at the same time, which is why historians refer to him as a Christianic cultist rather than a Christian.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, like, communism, again, because I referenced in the extra credits video, is that if you look at particularly what the government did with German children under Hitler's rule, they were indoctrinated, they were brainwashed, children did not have parents did not have to say what they were taught. The government decided whether or not, like, for example, if the child, gosh dang, I forgot to put it in the description, if a child got sick in the family, they only had a certain time to get better, if not the government took them away. So communism is very much against the family and allowing the parents to teach the children. It's the government that teaches the children, and the parents obey. And it was even to a point to where the parents could only choose German descent names. They could not give their child anything of Jewish origin of descent. But I know go ahead.
Well, it depends on which kind of communist society. There's some communist societies that went, yeah, the state should do the children, but then there's other communist societies that were actually all for mass parenting. Parenting is basically like a foster mother, and they would have like fucking 20 kids to look after. They were really for mass parenting.
Yeah, that's another form of government. Go ahead.
Technically government parenting, but
yeah.
It's...
You instill an adult to teach the government what the government wants the children to know and function.
Yeah.
So,
but it's not the same thing as the government parenting your kids. It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Heavy-handed LGBT practices from 12 to months old. Oh my god, why do you guys keep saying that? The phrasing's driving me nuts. This is why mom and dads are beginning to see the risks of the imposition of the new sexual and gender ideology that does not allow dissent even from harmless 10-year-olds, said Andrea Williams, major government of the Christian Authorized Center, which is aiding the two learners and their household members in this topic. I swear to God, the wording is messing me up. This incident highlights again just how aggressive and intolerant the LGBT agenda can be and is. Ongoing Williams an ideology that has to vacation. What the?
These kids are traumatized.
Yeah. That has. Go ahead.
I'm talking about the kids who got shouted at. They're going to have psychological trauma in their lives. So teachers might have a lawsuit in the future.
Perhaps. That has to vacation resort to these types of significant-handed strategies to power 10-year-olds to accept anything that extensively they do not only highlights how lifetime crushing that ideology is. And it is. That's why, again, they are preying upon the children on purpose. There was a move a few years back to instill this in schools and without the parents' consent. You saw this in Australia. Before Suit Yourself, his original channel got terminated. He did a video on what's called safe schools, to where he talked about where he had his brother racing, because he was relating the story on his brother had called him and said, I'm on my way to get my son out of the school, turn on the news right now, because they're talking about this, and Suit said, you're like, what the hell? So he turned on and learned about what safe school was, and it's, again, they're teaching children the gender umbrella, all that freaking bullshit without telling the parents. So they're doing it in Australia. They're doing it all over the place. They've been doing it for the past few years. So this is not... This is why it's... Go ahead.
Like, again, remember the 80s in England when it was really pushed for anti-BDSM and gay propaganda to be taught in schools. Keep in mind, that was only in the 80s. That was only a few decades ago. Like, of course they're going to go for the children. They've always gone for the children. You look through history, they've always gone for children.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing new.
That's how, especially going back to the extra credits video I released before starting the stream, they indoctrinated the children. That's why you had German soldiers bred who didn't question anything or taught, don't question Hitler, don't question this, don't question that. So yeah, no, they always go for the children. And I don't agree what they did back then either. It's one extreme back then, and now it's the other extreme, which has like opened the door to some really messed up and dark shit.
I'm not excusing what they're doing. I'm just
I know.
Basically just an example from the past. It's just
no, you're fine.
In the past, it was a lot more,
Yeah, no, and you're fine. You are right. They had the other extreme, which is an excellent point to bring up, to where they were overly conservative. That's why you have a lot of churches that are so very much seen as controlling, and even, because I've talked about this on the channel too, there's a lot of backwater churches, especially in this country, in the U.S., seen as cultish. If you question certain things, you go outside the norm, you are kicked out. This is true for Mennonites. So like I've mentioned on this channel too. I don't know how many times. But let's see. We see the fragility of this entire sexual agenda imposed on our young children, and not able to stand up to the obstacle of innocent 10-year-old, mentioned Williams. When bullies know that right is not in their... This wording fucking with me, and I write poetry. When bullies know that right is not on their faucet, they vacation resort to coercion and intimidation. That is true as well. This is just what's becoming performed out of Havens Farm Key University, Williams. Extra. I don't know who the hell wrote this, but oh dear God, the wording, but we get the point. But I just, let me play this real quick.
I only learned what homophobic means the other day, so I was confused when she said that I was being very homophobic.
The problem is that I understand why the older people are I understand why people are like this, unfortunately. It's because people in their late 20s to early 30s were brought up to be against establishment, to always think, differently, to a very punkish, anarcho-communist style of life. A lot of people, and I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people did actually grow up. And unfortunately, you can't quite shake off what you've been taught all your life so easily.
That's true enough. No, get out of there.
So it's a bit hard when I see these people and I can understand why you guys are like this, but you're still wrong, and this is still wrong.
Yeah, it's, again, it just, and I've talked about this before. People think I have double standards when it comes to the Christian faith and religion. No, I fucking don't, because I've talked about this on my channel as well, as you cannot force your children to believe in certain things, and because of my own experience, and this is not me shit-talking my family, but there was a study I remember that my youth group had. It was during my last year of high school, and I remember that they had this thing where between the ages of 18 to 20, you had a bunch of young adults just freaking vacate the church, just flee from it, drop everything they had learned, and there's a reason for it, because it was, and a lot of families forced upon them, a lot of discussion wasn't had, so I don't agree with forcing your beliefs on your children. It's one thing to go, hey, this is what mommy and daddy believe, we're going to do this, you have to decide for yourself what you believe, what your deem are, and this is what I tell people all the freaking time on my channel. And I have the same standard for everything, whether that's religion, this shit, or anything else. Do your own research. You have to come to an understanding of the information that you go out and look for. Whether that's different ideologies, and again, this touches upon the freaking extra credits video I just released, where they literally said that if you come across a website with iron crosses, which has to do with the Nazi propaganda, if you come across a website and you start reading on it, you're going to suddenly become brainwashed by it. No. Go out, do the freaking research, and if you want to have proper knowledge and understanding of something and know how to combat it, or understand why they said certain things, go out and research it. Be careful what you dig into, because the more you stick your head in certain things, the more depressed and things like that you become. But we have knowledge for a reason. Without knowledge, we are unarmed and cannot combat or counterpoint or debate or avoid certain catastrophes without knowledge. So, again, I do not have that double standard when it comes to religion. Far from it. Let's see, we're half an hour more. But yeah, this is, like I said, this is a growing trend, and they're reaching more and more and more. Let me touch base with the chat, and then we can finish up the thoughts about this, and then there's actually something interesting that is coming out of California. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to ignore the chat. Let's see. Left off on that. The UA has no constitution. Let's see. Georgia, USA, Kickback is in desperation mode. Henley has started removing her profiles off the internet. Oh, yeah, no, she, I know this doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but yeah, no, when Leah got outed and, some people, I think it was like myself included, had exposed her other profiles or whatnot, because she used to have a Tumblr that had a bunch of yaoi shit all over it, because she's one of the people that accused Vic of being homophobic because he wouldn't sign yaoi art. She made her Curious Cat, which is, was it Gogo Eeg? She disabled her Tumblr, completely, nuked it. Made her Curious Cat private for a while, locked her original Twitter, and completely nuked it and has a new one. So, yeah, no, she's been trying to hide her shit, and she's already, I'm not for doxing, but her butt's been completely exposed on Kiwi Farms. So she can't hide shit. There's too much crap that's been archived. So she can try, but it's not going to happen. And
Are you still pissing?
Huh?
Are you still pissing off Kiwi Farms?
No.
That's good.
No. And also something too, point out that Han Lee is the one that Mars Girl retweeted, and started that stupid hashtag on the very night that Super Broly premiered. I was like, oh, we didn't do this on purpose. Bullshit. Anyway. Your dad is not only going to be fine, he'll be better than ever, so not to worry. Yeah, knee replacement, depending on how they do it, the recovery can be a little bit time, but yeah, he'll feel better after he has, his knees replaced. And I think my grandparent that did it one at a time, not both. So, he's 60, he's trying to wait so he can have good knees for his later years. Well, don't let them get too bad again. I think there's different ways that the doctors do it. So let's see. Mars Girl has started saying on Twitter that she did not want Funimation to fire Vic. Oh, they're gonna say all sorts of shit. Like Funimation came out and said, oh, well, it's the fans that got Vic fired, or we didn't fire Vic because of sexual allegations, or the allegations against Vic Mignogna going around and floating around on Twitter when their first tweet was the only thing referencing the doc when it was an entire thread. Yeah, no, people are going to be saying a lot of bullshit. It's all bullshit. Let's see. Yeah, all I see it is that she does not want to be around to Vic's lawsuit. She's more than likely going to get pegged. It's more like because she saw the hashtag, and she's connected to Beth Elderkin, she's connected to Samantha Hearth. There's a spider web. People are gonna get nailed to the wall for their dumb. Ty Beard is gonna go after who Ty Beard goes after. Let's see. Have him do it now. Okay, they're talking about the knee replacement. Mars helped start the shit show. Yeah, she did. She was the main linchpin, you could say. Kids, we're going to have a nice stoning this afternoon. Oh, yeah, no, that's Africa. people still get killed for witchcraft.
To death.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's Old Covenant. Like, in the Old Covenant, or under the Old Covenant, in the Old Testament, you were killed for committing witchcraft, for being gay, effeminate, adulterer. Oh yeah, they stoned for all sorts of shit underneath the old law, which, by the way, it's not relevant anymore if you're reading stuff in context. Go ahead.
My favorite joke is, God, we have a problem. What is it now? Well, they misinterpreted what you put in the Bible. What do you mean? Well, the men shall not lie with men. I thought, wait, what? No, it should be men shall not lie with boys, not men.
Well, I mean, the verse, because I love it, people do the argument, oh, well, Jesus didn't address homosexuality. Yes, he did. Both Matthew and Mark. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, the religion could have gone way differently if they just said, men shall not lie with boys.
Well, it's not just different. It's just, like I said, and not everybody obviously agrees. I'm not trying to say you have to agree, but there's a specific way for marriage in the Bible, and it goes into the analogy, husbands, love your wives just like Christ did the church. So, as I said, if that Queen James Bible went through and gutted like any verse that talked about traditional marriage or wasn't seen as inclusive or seen as blasting the LGBTs, like, well, good job. You just pretty much gutted the entire Bible of its entire meaning. Way to go! I'm sure the Song of Solomon probably got fucking tossed out, that entire book.
I think the Bible got bastardized quite a few times before the SJWs had their mitts on it. But what was I going to say? Oh yes, but the marriage thing, that was actually more of a currency back then than actual love. Marriage didn't become a thing about love until I think the 19th century. It was really weird. No, like it was just a dumb move to marry for love. Because marriage means that your status will go, like it depends if your status is going to go up. It depends on your financial situation. It depended on like trade. Like a lot of marriages had to do with trade.
Yeah, no, and
family feuds. Like marriage is more of a bargaining chip and peace treaty than a fucking than fucking actual love.
Well, that was
it was actually dumb to marry for love back then, because you basically screwed yourself over out of food, trade, shelter, health, security.
Oh yeah, no, I know,
sort of thing.
I know. That was society, and marriage was used to form alliances and join two countries together. Yeah, I'm talking about biblical though. What society said, yeah, no, marriage was very much used as like, hey, we're gonna join our countries or our houses, or here's the bridge this way. So yeah, no, I'm very much aware.
Yeah.
Let's see, California. Go ahead.
Traditional marriage with Bible, it always makes me a bit weird, because it's like, well, marriage was kind of invented as a bargaining chip rather than an actual love thing.
It wasn't so much as invented, it was more if it was re-envisioned. It's like, oh, hey, this is how we can join two countries, this is how we can both extend our households, join the lands, so things like that. California must be good. It's actually pretty interesting, the article that I have from California. Hanlia has also removed her newest Twitter. Well, of course she did. Anything related to herself. Well, Google Images is the bitch, because that's where a lot of people found her photos, because if you type in the handle, and if you have posted any photos on Twitter prior, Google will keep a cache of those photos regardless if the account is removed.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'm not sure if she committed perjury, since Funimation mentioned Hanlia in their court filings. Well, of course they did, which, here's the other thing, because I know we're derailing a little bit. If you guys remember Nick Rikita's stream, they pretty much self-defeated themselves in that entire court document Because they kept saying how it was Vic's fans that was going on harassing, and how Vic had came out saying, "Well, stop doing this." So they put Vic in a good light, while at the same time trying to demonize him. And the fact they even confirmed, which is hilarious, there was only 3 investigations, which 2 of them came from Monica, and then a third source, a fan, having to do with the convention. So yeah, no, that entire document is pretty much self-defeating. Oh, Judge Roy, you should toss this out, or you should dismiss this. I don't, in my opinion, again, I'm no legal expert, I don't think it's going to get dismissed, considering the shit that they put in there. And the fact that they're trying to hog tie another lawyer, Nick Rakita, in there because of the GoFundMe, which, by the way, because I've said this before, shows how fucking stupid they are and how ignorant they are of the GoFundMe. Again, anybody who's been around my channel, I actually campaigned and fundraised for the DO5, the mom of DO5. When you were setting up a GoFundMe and you're setting up a fundraiser or whatnot, there's 2 ways you could do about it. If you're fundraising for yourself, you tell the website that you are the beneficiary and you get money to your bank account, which they have to verify and all that wonderful shit. If you're fundraising for somebody else, you could be a campaign manager, and what you do is you send off an email, or you give the email of the beneficiary that you are fundraising for, and that beneficiary is going to get an email saying, hey, this person's fundraising on our behalf, they've named you as a beneficiary, do you accept or do you deny? Well, seeing how Nick Rakita is the campaign manager but not the beneficiary for GoFundMe, Ty's law firm accepted the email to be a beneficiary, so Vic is not even getting the money, but it's Ty's law firm. Nick Rakita has already gone through and explained all that shit, but again, Casey Eric is fucking stupid, has proved several times. But again, let's get to the California article, because, yeah, just, oh my gosh. There's speculation that he is purposely fucking around to drive up lawyer fees and try to squeeze as much money from Monica and Toy, because he knows he's gonna lose the case. So,
as long as I lose all that money.
Well, I can't, like, I love it how Ron Toy was like, oh, well, we want this to go to court, we want this, we want, like, everything out there public. No, you just want it all, because, again, this is none of my business, but I'm only using it as a reference, is Vic flirted with a lot of women during his engagement to Michelle Speck. Again, that's his business, I'm only using it as a reference. A lot of women that he flirted with went along with it. I think what's going to come out is that certain people got flirty with Vic, went along with Vic's behavior, and then later regretted it and tried to turn around and demonize him. I think that's what's going to come out. It's been a speculation for a while, and I think Ron Toy is particularly pissed off. Again, this is hypothesis, this is not fact, do not quote me on this. But I think it's going to come out that possibly Monica and Vic had a little something, and that's why Ron... That's my opinion. So, again, not my business, but it explained Ron's behavior towards Vic. You were going to say something, Miss Steam? Did you cut out, or did you trail off?
My artwork.
Your artwork?
I didn't save it.
Oh no! Did you just... What program are you working in? PSD or Photoshop or Paint Tool?
It's okay. My okay. I need to save it.
Okay. Situation evaded. Yeah, no, I've actually had my old computer crash only during PSD files. It was like, oh no! Wiped the entire...
I thought my editing program reloaded. Because when it reloads, I lose it all.
No, you're fine. If the program did its job, usually when the program itself crashes, a temp file would be recovered. It's like, do you want to recover this file? So.
No, this is Pixlr, so this is all like free online shit. Doing artwork, but it does.
Do you want Photoshop? What?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Let me...
I probably should get...
Hold on, let me because there is a link. I had a friend, Ichabod didn't. Oh, let's see. Also, there's. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the ice cream thing. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. Yeah, that's,
Ah, God, that was close. Almost fucking lost it then.
Come on. Come on.
No joke. I had an art project once, and I didn't save it. I spent a good 2 days on it.
Yeah.
The final result, and because I didn't save the final result and I didn't eat very well, I straight up lost it and just threw my mouse across the room.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is CS6 correct. I got this from an old friend, now ex-friend. So this is what I use. Anyway, let me get...
I'll have a look at it later.
Huh?
I'll have a look at it later, but thank you.
Yeah, I DM'd it to you. Okay, so let me flip over to the TV. Sorry guys for the light distraction. It's just like I've been there when I've had my entire file crash and burn, and it's you want to punch a wall. You want to punch a damn wall.
It's fun when it crashes and burns. You don't want to feel you want to burn the world and cry.
Yep.
Too many communists died in my hands just by files not working.
Yeah, I've had some files get corrupted on me. It's just like, I hate you. Okay, so this is from the New York Post. I did have what was considered a right-wing news thing, but I did go and look. That's more neutral. This California town wants to be a sanctuary city for gun owners. Which, contrary to popular belief, there are some parts of California that are Republican and very much want to break away from the freaking radical liberal California or the radical left. Which, by the way, is now trying to give political seats to illegal immigrants or illegal people. So it's the dream and DACA people. California, I swear to God. Anyway, Needles, California, that's the name of the city. The Old West desert town of Needles, California is where I don't know. Bellegarde Jode family crossed the Colorado River to California in John Steinbeck's classic novel, The Grapes of Wrath, and was a boyhood home to Peanuts creator Charles Schulz. These days, Needles is gaining notoriety for another reason. Leaders have declared it a sanctuary city for people who believe California's strict gun laws have encroached too much on their constitutional right to keep and bear arms. The city council in the town of 5,000 that borders Arizona and is a few miles from the southern tip of Nevada last month unanimously declared Needles a Second Amendment sanctuary city. So they're pretty much telling the California government to go fuck yourself. I love it. The vote had no immediate practical impact on how guns are treated in the city. Rather, the Needles city attorney was directed to draw up a resolution asking the California legislature to allow licensed gun owners in other states to carry their firearms in town. A lot of states have it to where you cannot just, if you have, say, like a concealed carry license, say for like Illinois, and you bring it over to say, and this is just going off the top of my head, say you bring it over to like South Dakota. I don't know if South Dakota requires you to get a concealed carry for their state, even though you have one for Illinois. So you do have states that are required, well, if you come up with a new state, it doesn't matter if you have a concealed carry license in this state, you need to get background checked, and you need to get a concealed carry license for our state, or otherwise you're not allowed to carry it, even though you're licensed in another state. So,
I don't need a license. I'm a fucking weapons merchant.
So Needles is pretty much trying to get it okay for concealed carry license people from other states to be able to carry in their town without the ridiculous restrictions and all that. This effort is part of a national trend of officials in more conservative areas resisting tougher state gun laws. In New Mexico, more than 24 sheriffs in predominantly rural areas vowed to avoid enforcement equipped with supportive Second Amendment sanctuaries resolutions from county commissions. So you have other officers in New Mexico and other states like that going, no, we're not going to enforce these stricter gun laws. These are stupid. We actually believe in the Second Amendment, and you guys can go fuck yourselves. We're not enforcing this shit. In Washington, Washington State, sheriffs in a dozen counties said earlier this year that they won't enforce a state-sweeping new restrictions on semi-automatic rifles until the courts decide whether they are constitutional. So you pretty much have sheriffs come out and saying, hey, well, because you guys can't make up your minds on whether this gun is constitutional or not, we're not going to do jack diddly shit. We don't care until you guys get your shit together and figure this crap out, because we're not going to swipe a bunch of guns that are potentially covered under the Constitution. Now, let me also something, too, because I love this argument. This argument has come up before, to where there's talk about how the Second Amendment says the civilians are allowed to bear arms. People thought they were referencing the muskets back then. If you guys don't know what a musket is, you pretty much had to take like this pole thingy and shove a wad down in the barrel, put gunpowder and light it, and you had to do this for like every freaking bullet that came out.
I know what a musket is.
Yeah.
Fucking pathetic.
Yeah, that was the weapon. That was the type of firearm technology back then. So a lot of people think that the Second Amendment only covers muskets, and it's like, no, right to bear arms. The Constitution was written for generations in advance, was written for that time, and so forth. So firearms includes pretty much any, in my opinion, this is because it doesn't give specifics, because their technology was limited back then, but still, right to bear arms, like any weapon that's out on the market. So, what a lot of lawmakers feel is like with the semi-automatics, and the rifles, and the guns that have the higher capacity magazines, and if you don't know what a magazine is, it's pretty much, I guess you call it like a block that's filled with bullets, and you shove it either into the pistol grip or...
It's a plastic box. It's the plastic box that keeps your boom sticks.
That you attach to either a gun or you, with some automatic, you shove in the pistol grip and has a certain amount of rounds. So, what a lot of lawmakers feel, oh, well, if we downsize the gun capacity, and we make semi-automatic and rifles that have like a high firing rate and high capacity rate, if we make this illegal, we're going to therefore cut down on the gun violence, which proves to be quite opposite of the case, because bad guys are always going to get the high capacity guns. They're going to get guns regardless, and they're usually scratched. Which
look at me.
By the way, was it on the southern border of California? Thank God for Border Patrol and ICE. There was a huge ass shipment of guns, like smuggled guns. They were scratched, they were full rifles and all sorts of shit. They were coming over from the border from Mexico to Southern California. ICE caught them. They were all unregistered, scratch and crap like that. People also smuggle guns over here. So even with strict gun laws, you're not going to stop people smuggling shit over here in the U.S., especially when you have a fight against sealed borders. And so I swear to God, these people are self-defeating, or their policies contradict, and like it's just
actually,
wonderful. Go ahead.
Actually, yeah, make weapons more expensive and harder to get, because then I earn more money.
Well, they want to make it more harder for the good guys, but it's like bad guys are always going to find a way to get a weapon. Take, for example... like the Las Vegas shooter. All those guns were not got legally. There was I think a lot of them had scratch numbers on them, and nobody had any idea where the hell he got them. I don't think they could track any of them. Maybe like one or two that he bought legally, and all the others were like under the table. Again, bad guys are always going to get guns if they want guns.
So if you don't want to support, what you people call me, a Nazi, which is not true, capitalist dictator. So if you don't want to support a Nazi, then don't make gun laws stricter.
Yeah, that's...
There you go. That's a good reason for it.
Let's see. This effort is. Oh, I already read that. In Washington. Oh, I already read that too. Okay. The sponsor of the Second Amendment Sanctuary City measure in Needles, City Councilman Tim Terrell acknowledged it could be a long shot to go anywhere in California's overwhelmingly Democratic legislature, noting the title is a poke in the eye to places like Los Angeles, who, by the way, have been destroyed by illegals and. Yeah, very strict gun control area. San Francisco, which they have their own shit app, and the state itself, which have declared themselves sanctuaries for people living in the country illegally. Yeah, if you guys didn't know that, the entire state of California, much to many people's chagrin, has declared itself a sanctuary state. So that is why you see point of illegals. That's why you're seeing California's like tourist cities being destroyed, and yeah. They want to pick and choose what they follow, he said. We're going to shield this person, but we're going to go after this person, and in our opinion, they have violated the Second Amendment of the Constitution in many ways. But don't get Needles wrong, said he and the other officials. They don't want any would-be gunslingers sauntering down historic Route 66 brandishing six-shooters. So they want stuff to be reasonable. We're not crazy, said City Manager Rick Daniels, chuckling. We're not proposing that everyone have a gun on their hip or open carry or anything like that. But they at least want it to where if you have a concealed carry, you're allowed to bring it into our town without going through all these ridiculous laws and things like that. What the city wants is to make it easier for visitors to the roadside stop on their way to Las Vegas and Los Angeles to not worry they could face a felony arrest if a traffic stop turns up a loaded but legally registered gun from outside of California. We have had that happen, Daniel said. Now, not a lot, not often, but occasionally that occurs. The city also wants the state legislature to tweak a law that took effect Monday. It requires gun owners to undergo a background check to purchase ammunition and outlaws people from bringing ammunition into California from other states, which that is bullshit. Let's see. California Governor Gavin Newsom and other Democratic leaders say that the state's new ammunition laws will save lives by helping authorities discover so-called ghost guns that aren't registered with the state. No. Again, your own freaking southern border had a bunch of guns trying to be smuggled in. Like an entire, if you guys are familiar with like how big those trailers are on a semi, or if you guys ever seen like a shipyard, it's like those colorful, I think you call like crates or whatnot. They found a thing of those trying to be smuggled over the border. So, yeah. Go ahead.
So, you know what? I'm for gun control. Yeah. Do the gun control thing. Yeah. It will definitely stop the bad. It'll definitely stop the bad guys. Yeah. Get rid of the 22nd Amendment. That's also a good idea.
This is so stupid. Let's see. Ghost guns. Bad guys are always gonna bring ammunition and guns unmarked and unregistered and untraceable. You stupid people. Most Needles residents buy their ammunition in neighboring Arizona because the nearest California stores are more than 100 miles away. City leaders want residents to be able to continue purchasing in neighboring states, which I think it's fair. It's honestly, if you're a registered gun owner, because this is why some people are against a thorough background check. It's because there's a lot of Democratic leaders that are trying to like enforce gun confiscation. Who was it? Stacey Abrams down, was it Alabama? She lost and she's still yet to concede. She literally came out and part of her campaign and said we will confiscate the guns if we have to. I can't remember which presidential candidate, Democratic, for 2020 wants to do a buyback policy like Australia did years ago, and it's just like, you can go get fucked. Nobody's going to turn in their guns to you. So you do have people pushing to take weapons away from the people, and so when people talk about thorough background checks and gun registration, a lot of people feel like it's not any of the government's business what's in my house, as long as it's legal and I have a license for it. It doesn't matter how many guns I have or how much ammunition or where I get it from. Like was it certain states have laws to where you have to have the gun completely disassembled, ammunition not loaded in the gun, you have to have it separate from the gun and put away in a certain part of your house. That is ridiculous. That's the same thing, was it used to be in Texas to where you could have a gun in your car, but again, it had to be disassembled, the bullets had to be different or separate from the gun itself. So, which there was a situation that came up that proved to be how dire and how just it had very bad effects. And actually, this story was from was it the 1990s? Pretty much. This woman was testifying. She was having was it lunch or dinner with her parents at a restaurant? It was their anniversary or whatever. And she had a small pistol out in her car. Somebody comes in and pretty much shoots up the restaurant. And as her parents and her were fleeing the said restaurant, her dad got struck. And because her weapon was out in her car and not in her purse, she could not defend her parents. Both of her parents died, and she could not defend herself or those around her. So, and she was licensed to carry, but because the law back then, she could not bring the gun with her inside of the restaurant. So, that has proved to be quite fatal various times. Let's see. That and the request that California recognize concealed carry permits from other states will be spelled out in another resolution the City Council plans to adopt at its meetings on July 9th. So there's a lot of states. Like, I can tell you right now, Illinois, just to get a concealed carry, you have to have what's called a FOID card first. And it's firearms. It's for buying and selling. You have to get a FOID card, which the PD does a background check on you, and then to get a concealed carry, you not only have to go through train, which I agree with, you have to get identification number of a actual instructor, and then you have to provide 10 years of where you live, 10 history of past addresses, just to get a concealed carry in Illinois. And the process, I think, takes like a month or so. It takes like a month or so just to get your damn FOID card here.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, Illinois!
Jesus Christ. I don't think that would work. I think that would work here. Everyone kind of makes a weapon every single day.
Yeah, if you're...
focused people.
You can't even carry a fucking taser in your house without a damn FOID card. In Illinois. I'm not kidding.
Illinois' pussy.
Illinois has some of the most strictest gun control laws, but they have some of the worst gun violence. Chicago, or should I say Chirac, which a lot of people hate that name, but it is what it is.
Statistics, and basically Megan looked at the statistics, and basically the stricter the state is, the more gun violence it has. So Detroit has a very, very strict gun laws, but it's one of the most violent places in America.
I don't know. When you disarm the people, they cannot defend themselves. Therefore, it gives the bad guys credence to go, oh, well, these people are disarmed. We can rob more. We can kill people more. Because they always get guns. They always have shit. And the freaking anti-gun nuts never seem to understand this. It's like, you guys need to get back in reality, please, because you're... So... Oh, and oh my god.
Being taught a certain way with life, it's kind of hard to break out of it again.
Well, it's not just that. It's actually taking the time to go into these communities that have strict gun control and actually live in the communities. I bet you anything, like, if you live in the back parts of Chicago or some of the streets that people tell you to avoid, and you, like, sniff around there at night, you're gonna find out exactly why people are like, can we have, like, firearms, please? Can you, like, do away with this gun control shit? Because, yeah, you have factions, different factions of the gangs in Chicago that will kill each other if they piss each other off. Children have died because of these factions. I mean, it was at one point where Trump threatened to get the damn National Guard in Chicago because they weren't dealing with their gangs. I don't know if they still are. Chicago is very much gang ridden. So yeah, like there's certain places I tell people like don't go to, especially at night. Don't even downtown Chicago, where you have State Street and State and Lake Street over near like Navy. Was it Navy Pier or whatnot? Don't even wander around there by yourself without a buddy because no. And anytime, if you visit like a McDonald's in downtown Chicago after 10, this tells you how bad the area is. They literally have, and I think I've talked about this before, is they won't let you come in all the way to the cash register for your food and things like that. They literally have a bulletproof glass big window type thing, and engraved in like this big window thing is you have like a metal tray that they serve your food in. They literally have you put your card in this tray thing. They'll tape the card, run it themselves, bring it back, make you wait, and they're like the little box thing with several people, and then shove your food in this metal tray thing. When me and my husband went up to Chicago for the 4th of July one year, and we went to get McDonald's, freaking walking in there actually was kind of disturbing because it's like, what is going on? And we were explained, oh, well, we don't serve people at the counter after 10. Okay, I want to leave. So there wasn't any other places open, so we stayed there, and it's like, yeah, can we like get the fuck out of here now? It's not good. It really isn't.
Bad neighborhoods. I love them because every time they go, oh look, a weak innocent girl. It's just walking alone, and then later on, it's just like, shit, where'd my arm go?
Well, it's not just the back neighborhoods. This is downtown Chicago, to where you have it's the main tourist area near Navy Pier and all that. And it's just like, this is after 10. It's just like, I don't want to be out anymore. Can we go back to the hotel room, please? So that was actually kind of mortifying walking into a McDonald's and going, this is disturbing.
Yes. Not so different from ghetto places in 2020, the 21st century. Like in ghetto places, if you go to a shop, it was more of a case of like you don't stay out past midnight, and if you
connected. So as I've explained with my gaming laptop, when it's hardwired, the port itself does not snap in. It has like a little lip that goes up and down so I could stick in various types of Ethernet cords. So little hairball here decided to rub up against the cord and knocked it loose. I do apologize. But let's finish up this article because it's already past 10. I don't know if Nick is streaming tonight. But yeah, this is oof. So let's see. Okay, go away, New York Post. Okay. That in a request that California recognize concealed carry permits from other states will be spelled in another resolution the City Council plans to adopt at its meeting on July 9th. Terrell, a longtime gun owner who fondly recalls hunting with his grandfather, has reached out to the state officials who are wanting to see exactly what the city adopts on Tuesday. He said he was inspired after friends in Arizona told him they were steering clear of needles. I'm asking them, why don't you come out to a barbecue at my house, or why won't you come out here and buy XYZ? Because we sell it cheaper, he said. They said basically it's because we're not going to disarm ourselves, and California won't accept our concealed weapon permits. Needles, nope, you can stay here because you're going to knock my cord loose. Needles, founded in 1883, was once a booming railroad hub and gateway to California because of its location on Route 66, which before the interstate highway systems was the main east-west thoroughfare for the region. So, yeah, so pretty much this city wants to become more gun-friendly, a sanctuary state for gun owners. Again, California does not allow other concealed permits. They don't recognize them from out of state. And now they do not recognize, you can't buy ammunition from other states. So Needles wants to do something different, which I do agree. If you have a concealed, this is why our background checks need to be tweaked with a little bit. If you have a concealed carry in one state and you got given the clearance and you were properly trained with that gun or with guns in general to shoot them, I do think the concealed carry should carry in all states, or they should have a program to where you have a concealed carry for all states and you go through extensive training on how to use a firearm and things like that and how to shoot it. No, you can stay there. But I just not accepting a concealed carry, which takes more time to get, by the way, especially in Illinois, and is a ridiculous process. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's some like hope coming out of California. As I said, not everybody in California is crazy. You have a lot of Republicans or conservatives that have been trying to turn the state around through like the voter process, and just they're kind of stuck there at this point of time. So, want to say hi? Freaking knocked out my stream, you little shit.
Okay, and finish it.
So, but anyway, we're pushing past 10. That's all the articles I have. I was given one more. My co-host sent me something at 8 o'clock. It has to do with the ice cream stuff. I don't know if you want to cover that real quick, Miss Steam, or if we can end it here if you want.
Yeah, sure, we can cover it.
Oh, I know. It's so angry, but you disconnected my stream.
Pass.
Okay, so this is like... Gosh dang it, stop with all the ads. Okay, so if you guys have not caught on to what's been going on Twitter, there's now a trend, a very disgusting trend. There you go. Stay away from my cords. To where you have people opening tubs of ice cream and licking them and then putting them back. You have some people opening things of mouthwash, rinsing out their mouth, spitting it back, and putting it back on the shelf. And they think it's funny. This is a hazard. And in some states you can get 20 years. So,
That's nasty.
Yeah, no, they're disgusting. So people have reached out to a particular ice cream brand who has responded very quickly, mind you. Texas Walmart has armed employees guarding Bluebell ice cream. This is the ice cream brand that has responded thoroughly and very quickly, I might add, to is like, yeah, no, we don't, please let us know this is what's going on. Corpus Christi, Texas, one Walmart is taking extra precautions to keep your ice cream safe from lickers. A viral video showing a woman grabbing a tub of Bluebell ice cream, licking it, and placing it back on the shelf has sparked outrage across the country. And not only that, there was another Twitter video by a young gentleman who reached into the cooler, opened the tub of ice cream, literally started to scoop it out with his hand, and when he almost got busted, he put it back through the ice cream tub in the cooler, mind you, with lid off, and freaking took off. So yeah, these little shits are starting to like mess with your food now. Yeah, it's disgusting. Okay, the store in Corpus Christi has placed an employee with a water gun outside the freezer. They're gonna squirt him! Oh my god, they're gonna squirt him! Has placed an employee with a water gun outside the freezer to prevent any copycats. They posted the picture saying, "We're guarding our Bluebell ice cream for your weekend party." Lufkin police say they will not rest until the now infamous Bluebell liquor and a man she is pictured with on surveillance who are caught, and even if it means working through the 4th of July holiday. Oh, they're out for you, little shits. This is funny. The woman will face a charge of second-degree felony, which people were saying was 20 years. 20 years in jail for licking a tub of ice cream and putting it back. Holy shit, Texas, don't play.
Wow.
Don't do dumb shit. Tampering with a consumer product when she is arrested, police say. Holy fuck. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Oh my god. And when she's caught, it's going to send a message to the rest of the shits doing it.
It's like, come on. I'm not paranoia with unknown germs outside. That's why I wear gloves every time I go outside.
Yeah.
I always get paranoid with that shit. Don't be an asshole and feed more paranoia into it. You fucking
detectives also want to identify of the man in the green shirt who entered the store with her. Bluebell Creamery said they tracked down the viral video took place with the help of law enforcement. On Wednesday, the Bohemian-based company posted on its website that the compromised product was at a Walmart store in Lufkin. In a statement, Bluebell said, "We have identified a Walmart in Lufkin, Texas as a store where the malicious act of food tampering took place. Our staff recognized the location in the video, and we have inspected the freezer case. We have found a tin roof half-gallon that appears to have been compromised. Based on security footage, location, and inspection of the carton, we believe we have recovered the half-gallon that was tampered with. Out of abundance for caution, we have removed all tin roof half-gallons from that location." So they pretty much did a product recall, which does cost the company money because then they have to dispose of that. The Lufkin Police Department has been notified and is taking over the investigation. "The safety of our ice cream is our highest priority, and we work hard to maintain the highest level of confidence of our consumers. Food tampering is not a joke, which it's not. You can get various people sick. And we will not tolerate tampering with our products. We are grateful to the customers who alerted us and provided us with information." Late Wednesday afternoon, Lufkin PD released a surveillance camera image of the person they believe licked the carton. And there was a Twitter video going around as well of a close-up on her face. The video of the woman licking the top of the filled carton surfaced on Twitter over the weekend. And a statement on its website immediately followed the posting. Bluebell said concerned customers should notice any tampering, which, again, if you buy anything, look before you buy it. That includes makeup, too, because, I used to work a little retail store, and people would try the makeup, especially when it was wrapped, and they put it back. And when I went to go put the makeup away, I'd find these unwrapped. People are disgusting. Okay? So always look before you buy stuff, medicine, pills. If it doesn't have its proper seal on it, turn it into the store associate. Do not buy it because you don't know what the hell's been done to it. Let's see. Full Bluebell statement. "We want to thank our consumers for alerting us to the recent food tampering incident. We take this issue very seriously and are currently working with the law enforcement, retail partners, and social media platforms. This type of incident will not be tolerated. Food safety is a top priority, and we work hard to provide a safe product and maintain the highest level of confidence from our consumers. During production, our half-gallons are flipped upside down and sent to a hardening room where the ice cream freezes to create a natural seal." Like, anytime you guys open up ice cream, like, especially the tubs, like, you'll notice there's, like, a suction to them, and you kind of have to pry those suckers off. Yeah, that's done for a reason. The lids are, and also something, too, you can tell when ice cream cartons have been opened, because when you, especially the ice creams that don't have the seal on them, you are not getting in there again. They will have a concave lid, like the lid will pretty much flat, but when they are opened, the lid will have a bubble top, meaning the lid will go, I believe the term is convex, so it looks like it has a... Yeah. So keep in mind, like, when you buy ice cream, if it does not have, especially like the tubs or like the cartons, if it does not have a flat top, it has been opened. So...
Oh, I finished my thing, by the way, and I sent it to you in DMs.
Okay. Or you want me to show it on stream, or?
Yeah, because that's my updated logo.
Okay. Give me one sec. Lids are tightly to the carton, which again provides a suction causing the lid to go concave, I believe the term is. Any attempt at opening the product should be noticeable, which again, the lid will pop up and form like a bubble top. Opening the product, we will continue to monitor the situation. So, again, always be mindful of the products that you buy, whether it be toilet paper or just anything. You have to be very careful nowadays. So, especially now, because you have these disgusting shits doing this. Okay. Oh, you updated the colors. Okay, so this is her new logos. I see the updating the shading too. Cool.
Yeah, I basically made it a lot clearer.
I don't know, I like it. It's more crisp. But anyway, I think it's, let me touch base with the chat, and then we will wrap up here. Not restraining. The girl who started is facing 20 years. Oh yeah, no, that's the second degree felony. So, yeah, Texas don't play. California does not have reciprocity with most states. Oh, that's okay. But it works driver's license. Why? Well, I know you have, like, with any states, like a 30 days if you are visiting, and you get pulled over, you're supposed to tell the officer, I believe. If you move to a new state, you have 30 days to change your license over to the new state. All gun control is unconstitutional. To a degree, it is. I mean, it really is. Do I need to come on and explain this? No. Shipping containers, but gun control does not work. No, it never does, and these anti-gun nuts are never going to realize that. But again, you have ideals of socialism and even communism being snuck into, and part of that is disarming the people. I'm not kidding. That is why, like, especially with Nazi Germany, people couldn't fight back. That's why you have stuff like Venezuela. That's why you have people revolting, because they've had enough. And then, I think I brought this up before, I don't know what type of economy New Zealand has, but with the Christchurch shooting, they tried to do a gun ban, and all the New Zealanders, 95% of them just went, fuck you, we know how this goes. Nope, we're going to keep ourselves armed, especially now with what just happened. Go fuck yourselves. Chicago's still a gang-riddled shithole. Yeah, no, it pretty much is. It's also a sanctuary city, so. And the leaders of it are just stupid. Let's see. The girl. Oh, already read that. Okay, so I think I've caught up on everything. Patriarch left. Have a good night. But anyway, so we're going to end it off here. We went off a little bit over. And again, I know that there is starting to be an underlying theme to this channel. And I'm not doing this shit on purpose. This is stuff that is coming out in the news. That is relevant. And I'm not just cherry picking. I'm trying to choose, like, neutral news sources. As Miss Steen pointed out, that we went and dug for one real quick. So, but go ahead.
I'm saying, like, it's just a trend of the news. You can't really do anything about it.
No, you're fine. It's best if you guys can, when presenting something, try to stick to a neutral news source, especially with what we talked about tonight, because it's very important. Because it's like, oh well, that's just the right. Oh, that's just the left. No, if you can find a neutral that says pretty much what you're talking about, especially with these type of topics, people are either going to listen or they're going to go off in their own little bubbles. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you in the next one. And I bet you anything this is already demonetized.
Definitely.
YouTube. Okay. Or off air. Sorry, that went a little bit longer, because we kept going off on, like, these different tangents. Oops. Oh no, you're fine. That actually went better than I expected. It's just, here's something that I told Ichabod, because I asked Ichabod this, and he thought it was a weird question, and I know that you were brought on as, like, a temporary, like, felon or whatnot, but I think you're an official by the Hearth co-host now.
I guess so.
Well, okay, so I asked Ichabod, like, what would... I mean, you're obviously picking up where the content is going, aren't you? Like, I'm not doing this shit on purpose. I'm not going out of my fucking way to do it.
I kind of just say whatever is in my head, which I probably shouldn't.
Well, because I had asked Ichabod, like, what would cause you to cut ties with me? Because I had a few thoughts about stuff, especially what's going on in the news, and I'm not, especially with the LGBT stuff, because I know both of you guys are bisexual and things like that. And it's just like, I'm not trying to sound hateful. I'm not trying to do anti-LGBT propaganda. I mean, far from it. But again, I'm not going to look the other way just to make people feel comfortable about what's going on.
You're not being hateful. Also, I've co-hosted with someone who went on a giant tirade about how gay people end civilization. That was an interesting stream. I was on my best behavior because I didn't listen to most of it.
Oh man, it's not. See, I'm not preaching that, obviously, but that, looking at the bigger picture, and then you go into the inner workings of various things, and like I said with Just Robot's video, when he did a video on no bullshit, I actually had to go read up on a little bit more on socialism or the communism, and I'm going like, okay, I kind of have a understand what some of these things are. I know that certain things came out of these. Go ahead.
Watch some of Taylor Swift's extremist videos where she reads people's experiences with extremists. It's basically taught me. It basically taught other people the fact that extremists are going to be in anywhere. Like there's Christians